Hey guys, what's up? This place is actually a bit of a brothel. I don't know what that is. Anyway, what's happening? Hey Adam, hey Peter, Mark, g'day. David, hello. James B, good morning. Mark Osborne, g'day. Stuart, hello. Journeyman Randy, g'day. Adam, hello. Fridge, g'day. Call a day today, lucky you. Stinker here again. But anyway, it's all good. It's all happening. I was thinking, I haven't got a lot to share because I sort of been away all week, but yeah, there's a fair bit happening actually when I think about it. I haven't done anything in the workshop yet, but there's a bit happening. What's happened? Where do we even start? Okay, so Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon or Thursday, look, it was a sort of a Thursday job. I ended up at Fridge's Dan Shed for Shenandoah Steam Shed for a few days. Yeah, big weekend. We cut a heap of firewood. I think there's some video footage of that. Don't know what's there. I haven't even looked. I haven't opened the camera. I was talking to Dan before and I haven't even downloaded anything. But I'll have a look. Got a few jobs done. Nothing on the shed. Nothing on any of my gear. Run the Marshall for a couple of days, pretty solid, and cut a heap of firewood, which is really good. Extra coming out of the weekend with more firewood than we started with is a very good thing and something that should be applauded. Makes me happy. So we did that. We did a little bit on the saw bench bearings and stuff. More about that later. That's what that bearing's sitting there for. What else we do? Don't know. What else did we do down there? I'm sure there was some stuff, and tried to move the roller and it's too wet, and the tractor wasn't big enough, basically. So that didn't happen. Tried to, probably should put a fire in it. Did a little bit of work on, got enthusiastic again about getting a boiler certificate, which is a bit of a job. It really is. It's a crazy big task, but I'm not good in classroom situations at all, but we'll get there. And trying to get back into that. I need to buy a printer at some point because mine's dead. Anyway, there's that too. I was going to stop around on Monday and do some chores, but Monday was a nice day and I probably should have stayed because I could have got lots of things done, but I didn't. And I come home Sunday night and got about halfway and stayed the night and got in Monday morning fairly early. So Monday was laundry day and didn't come in this room at all. But it was just a relaxing day, I guess. Tuesday I got up and went to the foundry. So that was my weekend. So let's talk about that. Pick this up. This is a pretty nice casting actually. And stuck some paint on it last night. Without getting too religious about it all, which I don't do. This is the nameplate for the roller. Hey Bill. Which is looking pretty good. It's a fairly heavy casting. I reckon it's probably 5 kilos, something like that. and it's about, what, 6-7 mil thick. The pattern was CNC cut, which is really nice. You can see the machine marks in there still, I think, probably. If you really look, it needs another coat of paint on it at some point. We'll get one. It's not quite got enough on it yet, I don't think. But it's looking pretty good. Going to make a bracket, which is basically a piece of 3mm plate with a bend in it, to go under the something this sort of shape with a right angle bend in the top to go under the water lifter hose bracket on the side of the running board, and probably 4 screws on the top here. And that's a job, but got to make a bracket at some point. I didn't even get down there to measure it, so at some point we'll have to do that. Hey, Raymond. But anyway, got a very nice plate there. I'm very happy with that. It's a nice job. Solid brass, and I'd like to get this on the roller at some point fairly quickly. But it's not the only job on the roller. There's still a crap load of jobs to do on that. So just a matter of finding enough time to do them all. Anyway, so did that. Pretty happy with that. It's what's 400 by 150, something like that, about 6-7 mil thick, and just something else to polish, because we all need more stuff to polish. That's a bit of a problem. Anyway, got enough stuff to polish. Sign's still sitting there too, if anyone wants it. Just a bit of a plug there, if anyone wants a workshop sign. I really like that. If it doesn't sell, I'll hang it up here, but cash would be nice. Got this done too. It was running a bit late because the traffic's bad across Brisbane, like really not good. So only sort of moulded this once, and it's sort of all right. It's not terrible. It's cleaned up all right anyway. Could do with a little bit more out of there. I'd like to see a little bit more out of there. Peter, yeah, I could clearly coat that nameplate. It's not a bad idea, actually. It might happen. But some idiot's going to brasso it anyway, you know that. So I'd like just to be in a position to have everything polished. But it's a big job. So this had a bit of a sand breakout here, and I've sanded it back pretty well, but it wants a bit more through here. So at some point I'll get into it and get that fixed. So probably a lenition belt job maybe. Anyway, so that's the launch. We'll swing the light around here so you can actually see probably. That goes on there. That's the launch guard for there. Pretty happy with that. Going to paint it and leave a polished aluminium rim around it. And then the pieces go on here as the housing for the tacho, etc. at some point. So we've got a casting. It's a bit of weight in it actually, but it's not terrible. And by the time it's had a bit of a machining job, it'll be quite a bit lighter, I think. Kind of machine them out, or down anyway, so that the brackets fit on it, and give it a good clean up and machine the hole out. Hey Dudley. Yeah, a bit of paint will fix all this though. It's got a bit of a pinhole there, I noticed. It's not major. It may have been a casting defect too, or a pattern defect, or it's a bit of sand dropped out or something. A bit of filler will fix that. Anyway, job's done. Nearly. I'd like to get that on there at some point. And we can ignore that. That'll be job done. Also got forward and reverse belt on this, which is another job that I've done. Gosh, really 12 minutes in, I've got everything covered. I thought we're going to have a busy night. I'm going to start this, so it's going to be a bit noisy. You see these two are on the loose pulleys here. One of them's running that way, and one of them's running that way. We swing this over here, we're going backwards. When we swing it back, we're going forward. Look at that. That's forward. Stop. Why there's a speed difference, I'm not sure. Hey, Matt. Stop. Reverse. So, that's that sorted. Still haven't given that any more thought at all about where the how this is going to actuate here. No idea about that. Probably for most of the time it's going to stay up with that over there for a bit, and that only gives us a forward and no reverse, because the reverse is a bit dangerous if it just drops straight across. But for thread cutting, it's probably very handy. We could wind it down a bit. Have another look. If we wind this up to what, say, go to 20, something like that. Start it up. Not crazy fast. So, and the way that's set up, we've got forward. I might kick this up a little bit more. There's 25 and forward. And then back at 0. Right, as we're back at stop. If we move this stop, right, that's running backwards. So still working on it. Hey Frank, still working on that, but we'll wait for that fan to die. So that's all the progress we've had on the lathe. That works. I got no idea how to make it work successfully. Hey Paul. I'm thinking some sort of swing arm bracket off here somewhere that swings backwards and forwards with a yoke on it or something. And the lever out here with a rod sticking down, or a rod down here through the bench to a pedal down here somehow. But I've got no idea. It's not going to move backwards and forwards, to be honest, even without a detent. if we put that there and start it up, right, swing that over that side, this thing will run happily like that without, nothing's going to move until we stop it. It's pretty slow. They're starting to belt along there a bit more. And that's flat out with this. And that stops. Which is pretty nice. If we swing this way, we've got reverse. Forward, stop, reverse. Reverse, stop, forward. Hey James. So that's how that works. No idea how the finer mechanics of it works, but it really needs to be mechanical, I think, and a bit nice. Still giving that some thought. I don't really want to go electric, I've decided. I think we can just make something nice that's mechanical with some sort of system on it that works. Haven't given a lot of thought, and haven't been sleeping and dreaming about that. But there we go. That's how that works. No progress at all on this. Like, slack, done, zero, zilch, nothing. Didn't happen. Not particularly sure that putting a mechanical thing on here keeps it simple. But anyway, we'll see if it works. Haven't made any progress on this. I did print a new 40-tooth gear because I busted the other one. Only because the spacing wasn't set up properly and it got caught, I think. Anyway, so that's the launch lathe progress. Is guards cast ready to be machined. Got 2 belts on here. That's as far as we got. There we go. Anyway, I'm listening to Joe on a Zoom call and it's a little bit funny. So a little bit sidetracked with that. So that's what we've done. Look, I did the CAD work for this too. This is quarter size. This is the later version of the pump body for this Bayer Peacock pump. Got to have columns in there at some point. I've got them drawn up too. But this is not even close to what I think it probably had originally, if it even was a pump. But it's not an 1856 pattern, it's about 1890 pattern, this one. With the flange on the bottom rather than the bracket on the top to hold it in place. But I just did that just for the fun of it. See how that's going. No progress on them studs yet. Still getting there. It was a weekend away, so it didn't happen. This bearing sitting here. Got 2 of these 50mm bearings and a bit of 50mm shaft, and the 50mm shaft slips nicely. It's 2-inch basically. It's 50mm. Slips nicely through here without the grub screws in here to retain it. So we're going to set one of these up each end of the bearings. We've got all the bearings back in the... Got the big bearing brasses back in the sawmill. all lined up and looking pretty good. Really sweet, actually. Pretty happy with that. And going to put one of these on each end, sticking out a couple of inches past the end of the bearing. We're going to run a shaft through it, through both of them. Make a long shaft. It's 1400 long or something, shaft. And drill it, cross drill it, put a tool in it, and a grub screw. And probably a screw or a nut or a bit of thread or something with a nut on it on the end, or both ends, or whatever it needs. And a belt pulley in the middle. And we're going to use this to line ball both bearings to where they need to be. Get that sorted. Bore one, then flip the shaft over. I'll turn it round and bore the other one to the same size once we get it right with the same setting. That's the thought or the theory behind that. So that's coming together and it's looking like it might actually work. I've drawn up some plates and things that we need for that, but it's not really a crazy amount of bits and pieces, I don't think, to fix it. So that's what we do with that. Sort of put it all together and sort of it looks like it's going to work. So pretty happy with that. Really happy with that. This is quarter scale. So if we did make a pump body, there's several ways we could do this. We could make it up out of steel and weld it up, put a bit of filler in it and grind everything up. A bit of pipe around here and half piece of pipe on each end, and a bit of tube in the middle. Plate on the top and the bottom. That's kind of all it is, really. It's a big plate that it sits on, a plate on the top, and then this is basically just support for the rest of the engine on each side. And then there's a hole for the piston with a gland on the top and a valve underneath. And then a hole in here, and then this is hollow through here with a flange on it. Could fabricate that up out of steel and probably be plenty good. It'd be really nice. The other way we could do it is cast this up out of bronze, gunmetal, whatever, bronze, brass, whatever, in separate parts, so there's no cores in it. Cast this here, the centerpiece, in a tube, cast this plate, machine them to fit together and TIG weld them up. And then cast these pieces, this piece and this piece on here, sit it on, TIG weld it up, cast this piece separate, prep it all up, TIG weld it round, put another cover on top, TIG weld that, and then machine the top and the bottom, and the bore, etc. So that's doable too, but that's a lot of cast brass, and it's a fair lump of a thing, because once you times this by 4 times, it's sort of 16 inches long, 430 or something long, and it's 12 inches tall, and it's like 8 inches wide. So it's a big lump of a casting. Hey, Nigel. So no idea about that. It's a big job. Big job. But probably won't happen anytime soon, because I've got jobs to do and I'll take precedence, and I'd like to get some more drawings for this, and they're 30 quid each for copying. So I'm going to get some more drawings probably in the middle, sort of towards the middle of the year when I can afford them, and see where we go from there. We have many more drawing numbers than we did. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's the projects we're working on. Haven't took this down with me, the full-size cylinder. Never even looked at it, to be honest, got busy. And coming back, it wasn't restrained as well as it might have been, to be honest. And I've obviously hit the brakes at some point and put it through the back of my paint box, sign painting box, which doesn't do me any great favours, except that it made up my mind about whether I'm going to paint the back of it again, because it's going to need a bit of 3-ply on it at some point. So that's another job I didn't think I had, but I have got a job to do. Get in and finish that properly. I might actually rub that all back and put a new piece of 3-ply and a couple of panels and spray it a different colour from purple. Get it tidy. I don't know, we'll have a look. Purple doesn't leave a lot of complementary colours to actually do the lettering in. So that's where we're going with that. So there's been a bit of progress this week. Really there has. We've got a lot of stuff done, I think. I feel like we've done a lot, but when you actually count down jobs we've done, we've cut some firewood, we did a lot of talking, we had some food. No one drank very much, I don't think. And we did a bit of a refresher, catch up on study. But sort of one step forward, 2 steps back sometimes in some things. We did get the truck going again. We pulled out the Marshall traction engine, or the Marshall portable engine, and set up the saw bench and everything. I think there's actually pictures online of me actually doing some cutting too, so I'm just camera shy. That's the only difference there. But Fridge did a fair bit of it. That's right. It's his engine and his saw bench, so he sort of needs to. We might as well give him the pleasure of doing it. Pity to have all that gear and then have someone else play with it. It doesn't really work. Keep telling him that. Oh, I actually got the cement mixer all back together. So put a new pulley on the cement mixer and put it all back together. We need a couple of wheelbarrow wheels, a couple of rubber wheelbarrow wheels, and looking at that, I think it's cheaper to go to Bunnings and buy a new bag trolley and throw the bag trolley out and keep the wheels than to buy 2 new wheels. So that's something we're looking into. Find a couple of wheels for that, and trolley's about $35 with 2 wheels on it, and a couple of wheels, and the cheapest I could find was about $50. So there you go. For those who come in late, we got the plate finished. The plate well and truly underway for the Devil's Mistress, or whatever you want to call her, Adam's first wife. Queen of Darkness, anyway. Troublesome. Yeah. Bit of a piece of work anyway, so that's cool. Got that done. Got 2 belts on there. We've already covered that a bit. Had a bit of quick look at that. Got this casting made, which isn't terrible really. I've seen better castings, but that'll clean up nice, I think. A couple of bits of sand break out because of the design of the pattern, really. Fairly difficult thing to cast, to set it up this way, and in a box, and then pounded around the back of it and packed all this in nicely. Then turned the box over, scraped all the sand around from around there so we could lift it out, and pounded and dusted it up and pounded the second top box onto down on top of this, and the parting line, and bored it. So it come up all right, but there's a bit of sand come out of there because there's really not enough slope on there to pull it out nicely. It's quite a solid piece to pull out. Something must have got stuck, and a bit of sand fell out there and a bit down in there. But apart from that, it's not a bad casting. So I did that. Anyone who come in late, that goes on there. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. No one really turned up to the. It's supposed to be a training day, and it sort of was. We learned a lot. We had a gasket blowout, mud hole door gasket blowout under the back of the. That would be, but I can never remember which one's which, and no one else can either. So we'll just say the top and bottom box. We said Friday night we got the thing in a position and got it all cleaned up, and there was a few of us there, and put the door gasket back in because they were all out because we stored it dry, and a bit of a problem with the casting it sits on, I think, probably as much as anything, and put the door gasket in, was leaking a bit, and thought it might take up, and it sort of did take up, and then it let go. So we had to drop the boiler and rake the fire, and Saturday morning we put it back in, and it performed pretty faultlessly most of Saturday, and we actually cut a truckload of firewood, which is really nice. So we had a truck. We had half a truck of dry limbwood and a bit sitting around on the ground, and we cut it up into short bits on Saturday. So that was Saturday. No further problems with the door. Yes, that's correct, Peter, but no one. I'm not sure this. I know too many foundrymen who sort of say that. And I never remember which one's which. But I got a half decent casting, I think. I didn't personally do this one. My mate at the foundry, he took this on hand and moulded it up for me, and they poured it the other weekend, or probably poured it Sunday, something like that, Friday maybe. And it's a pretty nice casting. It's all flat and it all sort of works. So I didn't actually do that, but I went up yesterday just to pick it up really, and ended up casting that one. Anyway, what else? What's everyone else up to? Nigel, Go Create Hobby Machine Shop. I think I saw another video on the die filer. It's well worth having a look at. It's a pretty good, really pretty good series of videos. Really enjoying that. Looks good. Who else? Didn't see one from Dan, although he does feature a bit on my video because I lent him a GoPro a couple of times. So we'll see how that works. I haven't had a look yet. Who else has got a video up? Shout us out. Let us know. Was there one from Mark? Mark's got a new shed. Mark, do you have a new shed yet? Is it up? Is it finished? Are you out there? Are you out there bolting it up as we speak? fidget spinner for mechanics, yeah. There's a good video too on useless project. So, also one from Stephen on why you buy a flatbed lathe. I didn't want to sort of be that person, but I was. And he laughed it off. I think there's a reason he called it a box bed, and I'm sure there are reasons for it, but I couldn't see them. Thanks for the update, Mark. Kit has arrived, but now waiting for an installer to put it up. I thought it might have been up today, but it could be months. Good help's hard to find when it comes to sheds, apparently, they tell me. I keep hearing about that. It might be an actual thing. Was going to put this plate on the motion cover on the roller, but there's no motion covers on it. And to be honest, it's probably unlikely to have motion covers in it for a while. I'd like it one day to put them on, but it's just another thing to take off, and they sort of cover up all the good bits. Not sure I'm a motion cover fan. It looks good, and they were factory, but I don't think that they'll probably go back on just yet. So this is going on the running board in between where the water lifter hose hangs. So in the middle of the hose. I think that'd be pretty nice. Don't know what else. What else has happened? Don't know. Not sure there is very much happened. We got like full speed there for a bit and discussed all these things, and then we run out of steam. Brought back some bits for this, for the Bayer Peacock engine. If I put that down there, there's absolutely no way that I'll ever remember to take it with us next time we're messing around down there. A clear bit of bench, which is all we've got. I have this casting, right? There we go. We're going to talk about this casting, which hasn't got, to be honest, a lot of meat left on it. There wasn't a lot put on it. It's a couple of coats of filler. That's about it. Nothing worth mentioning in the shed shop. Look, we'll clean this up, but it only wants to clean up, that's all. Doesn't want much off it, probably a millimetre. And it needs a hole through here for the gland, and then there's two holes in here that aren't threaded, but they've got cross pins in them. I think you can actually feel that where the cross pins were on the original that hold these screws, these bolts in place to hold the gland on. It's got these funny features in the middle. I don't know what they do or how they work. I had a look at the original and couldn't really find anything. There might actually be an inlet or something there, but I'm not sure about that. I've got a feeling that's what this is your inlet. Don't know. Very good question. Got to work that out. But then it's got 4 holes, which we'll put in with the DRO. And broach the corners out of them to put these studs. Or it's actually these studs go in there, like so. Yeah, that's the problem with those. They're full of sand. Adam should take them apart. You only run a project or a kit lathe to start with. This one's pretty tired and it's bent. but it's still got the thread on both ends. And we've got a drawing for these anyway, but these go in here. And at some place it's got a steam inlet, and this bolts on the back of the cylinder with 4 5/8 nuts. And then this piece, which is the slide valve, which is actually pretty good, really. Surprisingly good. Runs up and down on the port face inside it with a yoke around it. Well, that's very cool, Adam. Busy weekend. So this is brass and it's got a steel yoke around it, which I think I have here somewhere. I'm sure I do have it here somewhere. I don't know where it went. I'm sure it was here in the workshop. I'll have to have a bit of a look for that. Which I think has got a thread screws into the yoke. It's a cast yoke with a thread in it, and then it's got an eye on this end that runs on the eccentric strap. So that's that. That's still all right. This casting will be all right. The old one's only about half the weight. I think it's mostly body filler, to be honest, but apparently it had ER peacock in a circle around here, and no one put that together. That might be missing the BEY on this side here, but it started from about here and went around here. I've sort of got that sketched out from the original Discovery, and then Manchester across the bottom. So pity they didn't put it back on here. Pity then the pattern didn't end up with a Bayer Peacock Manchester on it, but probably going to make a plate or design a plate to go on here at some point when we get it going. That'll be the last thing. So that's a machining job, really. Basically, matter of bolting it down and machining it, drilling 4 holes in it, and putting 3 holes in this end and a couple of cross pins. And that's fairly straightforward. There's a lot of work to do to the cylinder before we get that, though, and before it gets bolted on, because this face that goes in here is pretty crappy. Pretty crappy. So not doing a lot with that, but there's some bits come back with me. And I've sort of drawn them into the CAD program as well, so you might find that this 3D print model will grow, and the CAD program is definitely growing. But that's the face that it sits on, with 5/8 studs in the corners, so pretty much like that. Anyway, that's the ER Peacock engine update. Was sort of thinking I was going to get the sides of the van wrapped, or the plain panels on the side we're going to get wrapped with the blue wrap in preparation for sign writing. Hasn't happened yet. Who knows? Thanks, Stuart. Anyway, what else is happening? It's another project that we really need to do at some point. Is this. This is broken. I guess it's worth fixing. I don't know whether I buy a mini Noga and just forget about it or what. But this is broken here, see? Find some lights. Let's try again. Yes, got the van too. That's another project that we need to do. Because I need another project. Yes, it's here. It's on my desk inside. I'm thinking about that. 16 minutes. We'll have a look at that in a minute. That's something that's happening. Good thinking. Should add it out here. So this is broken, which is a bit crap. But I believe Stefan has a nice design of one of these with adjustability and all that sort of stuff. So that might be a project for some time. Might do that. Because not much good out of these, to be honest. Put that on the side of the lathe out of the way. It's a fairly new MX indicator. It's sort of all right. There we go. It's one of Dad's that was new in this box. Oh, I'm going to shift this before we drop it on something. Like my foot. It weighs, what, 6-7 kilos, something like that. Solid little casting. You talk amongst yourselves, guys. I'm going to be back in a second. Not a lot happening there. No, just went and got this. So this is one of Dan's 16mm scale vans. Fairly nice model actually, Dan. Nicely put together. It's got it's pretty solid. There's a bit of weight in it. I think it's got a slow-mo in it or anything, but it's pretty solid. Steel wheels. I think it's got probably axle boxes. I reckon that's, don't know, 3D printed maybe? No idea. Feels like there's a fair bit of weight in it. So, project to do. Pity it's got these door hinges on it. But we can work around it. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll do it. Is to put Shenandoah steam shed on here. Shenandoah Steam Sawmill Company, I think. Something like that. And probably a Facebook link along the bottom, something like that. For advertising purposes, so that when Dan goes and runs steam engines on other people's places, we can get actual, like, footage of the Shenandoah steam shed so people go and check out the page. That's where we go. Then you've got to do both sides, and you know I'm not good with that, but we'll try. So nice little van. It's going to be a fun project. I'd like to get in and do that pretty quick. Take care, James. Get some sleep. It's too late. You're doing a chirpy. You've done good. You've lasted 50 minutes. Go and watch the Guy Martin Isle of TT Isle of Man fast lap. It's usually a pretty good way to get to sleep. So that's another project that I started the weekend without. And we've been talking about it for a while, and I just picked this up. It's a nice little van, and it's probably going to put some nice writing on it, and something a bit sort of heritagey that looks good and is a bit contrasty, and probably put Shenandoah Steam Shed or whatever the Facebook link is, and the Facebook symbol in the corner, just to bring it up to date so people know what to look for. And then Shenandoah Steam Sawmill Company. So, that's the thoughts behind that. I think he's got it going on. What else? Took steam engines down to Shenandoah to run on the boiler, and it never happened, to be honest. We've got a tap to run them off, but nothing happened because we ran out of time. So no footage of that. And to be honest, I spent most of my weekend just chasing around doing jobs that needed to be done. Oh, we also got a load of crusher dust and spread it out, made a ramp and mixed it with a couple of bags of cement and whacker-packed it down onto the shed floor. So we got a bit done. Hey, Paul. Bit done. Anyway, now Paul's here. Probably going to say we're going to call it. That's my weekend. Been pretty full on. Back at work today, and I'm feeling it a bit, but we'll get through. And there's 1,000 projects to do. If anyone wants to come and help with some projects, like if you think, gosh, I'm bored, I'm sitting around, I've got nothing to do, and I've got no aspiration to actually finish anything or do anything or even start something, and I've run out of projects, and I've still got another 10 years left before I drop off, and I'd like to get involved with something. Get in touch, because we've got a pretty awesome little group of people, and we like to have you on board, and whatever you're into, absolutely get in touch. If you're watching this and you live in the Northern Rivers or southern Queensland, get in touch and come and spend some time with us. Helps if you haven't got any other commitments or jobs to do. But yeah, it's a pretty unlikely combination of circumstances. It's really not something that anyone I know actually has, which is a problem. But I'm sure there are people out there in that position. And the opportunity is extended to you, or the invitation is extended to you if you are in that position. But it's a pretty long shot. Because, yeah, nothing else to do, really. We've got 13. That's not a bad effort, Matt. So thank you. Anyway, apart from that, if you want to get to know us all better, we're a bit crazy, but we're all on the Discord channel, and we all sort of chat sometimes. Stuart, absolutely come up, and we'll spend some time messing around. Bring your steam engine, and we'll probably have a track by then. We'll play with steamroller and portable engine, etc. And a couple of stationaries. There'll be more stationaries by then, probably. I don't know, they seem to grow. Probably more portables too, and more rollers and things like that. But that's the way it goes. We were talking tonight and saying that seriously, there's a list of priorities, and I don't think the new portable's one of them. Getting this up to speed before July to go to Glenray Timber Festival is probably a priority. There's a lot of work to be done there. Getting this done is a bit of a priority and get it back to Dan. This project's not a priority at all. We're slowly getting bits done, but it's not a priority. This project, I'm not sure this is a priority either, this bit. If bits turn up, as far as taco and stuff happens, and will eventually probably, we'll get on and do it. But honestly, there's probably an hour's machining, but these little tin brackets are a bit more work. I've got to get the truck registered. Truck's not my problem. Yeah, the truck's actually, it sort of feels like it could be some of my problem. So truck's getting close to being registered. All the lights work at last count. And we finished the weekend and they all still worked. That's a bit of a milestone, actually. I think it's the first weekend where actually everything still worked at the end of it on the truck. It still needs brakes, it needs a back window, it needs a handbrake. Could do some hydraulic oil, but the tipper works. It's doable, absolutely doable. Got to join a club and get Lilith properly registered on club registration before then. Got a boiler inspection and re-ticket before then. I had hoped to get cladding on the boiler. I don't know if that's going to happen, but there's a whole lot of cleaning to be done again because it's been outside for a month or so. So that's a bit of a job. There's a lot of sign painting to be done. Some cool things. I'd like to get this done and back to him. The truck needs some drop sides, absolutely, but I'm feeling like that's a big job. It's a lot of steel, and yeah, if that happens at some point, that'd be cool. Dan's got 3-jaw chuck problems, like he really does. I'm just going to have a look at this. This is my back plate on this. It's got a lock and collar so that when we throw it into reverse, like this system does, it doesn't spin off. That's quite effective, actually. It also means it doesn't do up so tight that you can't get it undone. So that's my back plate on there. Pretty pleased with that. But this is one of those Hare and Forbes. Let's hit this here. Hare and Forbes chucks. It's a Toolmaster chuck, I think. About the right size, Dan. I think when I bought this it was about $120, something like that, $110. K11. I don't know what they're worth now. But this is a pretty good little chuck for the money. It's fairly accurate. You've already got a back plate, so this would be a good investment. Very good investment for your lathe fridge. I'll give you a hand to fit it. But not a bad thing. Comes with inside and outside drawers. Decent chuck key. It's not a bad thing. K11 100mm. Nice little chuck for the money. Do we know a guy with a sawmill? That's a bit of a... Yeah, don't go there. We don't yet. No. But at some point we will. But I'm not sure, I'm honestly not sure timber's any cheaper than the metal sides. That's where we're at. So, there we go. I don't have as much else really to actually talk about. Might call it a night. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Really awesome to catch up. Glad you all tuned in, even though it's late in some places and very early in other places. Good to see you. So, what else to say? Be kind to each other. More soon. And I might have a look through my GoPro and see what's there. It's going to be a bit disjointed, the video of the weekend. There's not going to be a lot of plot or plan to it. But we might just actually check that out and see what's there and upload whatever's there and make a bit of a video if we can. But until then, be kind to each other, especially to me. Don't judge me too harshly on the number of projects that are coming in versus the number of projects that are going out. But I think we're getting things fixed. It's pretty nice. This casting's coming together. There's some work done on this. I think we're getting things fixed. Anyway, go check out Nigel's videos. Anyone else is making videos, next time, let us know and we'll shout you out. Anyway, I'm out, and more soon next time. More soon, guys. More next time.